Puja, greetings. I am Sunu Set Nahas. Welcome to our early morning ancient Egyptian devotional dedicated to Goddess Net and all her mystic forms, gods and goddesses, who are derived from her transcendental essence. The liturgy, which you will be able to see on screen, is recited in the ancient Egyptian language, the Medu Neter. English and Brazilian Portuguese translations is provided for you. You can see these translations on screen directly below the hieroglyphic text. Transliteration. You are welcome to participate by chanting along in your worship space or home, or wherever you may happen to be during our service. Or you are also welcome to listen quietly in a contemplative mode. Following the devotional, Uwashu, which means recitation of the liturgy, and meditation, Uwa, practice, we will have a brief wisdom teaching by Sehu Kepra Ankh, leader and priest of the Shataut Neter Temple of Net. Before we begin, please remember to mute all devices. We will now begin. Presented on the screen at the moment is a stone-carved depiction of the facing pylons of the Temple of Net from the statue of Henat. On the left and right sides are the pylons in which one of the symbols of Goddess Net sits atop a papyrus standard. Her emblem is her two arrows crossed and tied to her shield. This symbolizes the protection and resurrection of the soul within this place, the temple. Behind the emblems of Net on both sides are the flags, which mean Neter, divinity. In the center of the pylons at the bottom is the opening to the temple, and above that is a pyramidal structure which symbolizes the four equilateral planes of the universe and the mystic number 4. Above that, at the very top, is the cow hieroglyph symbol, which means rising. So it symbolizes the sun rising between the mountains, the Aket symbol, and for the initiate, the emergence of spirit consciousness. Net nesu pu neter amine. Jedef nesu hatepti net perfili. Menget mert em heb set neb enkaen. Gary Hepper Tep SSN M Het Net Ina Ren F Jetta Net Nesumer Pu Netter Amine Jedef Nesu Hatepti Net Perkeru Menget mert em heb set neb enkaen. Gary heb hertep SSN em het net ina ren f jetta. Net nesumer pu netter amine. Jedef nesu hetepti net perkeru. Menget mert em heb set neb enkaen. Yeri heb hertep SSN M hetnan inat ren F jetta net nesumer puneter eminen jedef nesu hetepti net perkeru Menket mert heb sed neb enkaen Geri heb hertep SSN het net ina ren F jetta duamu Kerefu FM heru akuti Anatechergira Nefer nebuben Duamu Kerefuben FM heru akuti Anatechergira Nefer nebuben Duamu Kerefuben FM heru akuti Anatechergira Nefer nebuben Duamu Kerefuben FM heru akuti Anatechergira Nefer nebuben Adi Jen Sekert Asej Uru Kef Uru Nesudi Hatep Net Berkeru Didi Eskauab Amuneb Nefer Shepsi Etnet Te Nesudi Hatep Net Berkeru Didi Eskauab Amuneb Nefer Shepsi Etnet Te Nesudi Hatep Net Berkeru Didi Eskauab Amuneb Nefer Shepsi Etnet Te Nesudi Hatep Net Berkeru Didi Eskauab Amuneb Nefer Shepsi Etnet Te Tua Im Shensu En Neberger Seshu in Keparu Dua Asar Nebrestau Paut Netaru Aat Ami Netakert Anatet Hir Kekenti Amentet Un Nefer Ab Abdu Matentu Ai Ku Anek Arati Estau Seteka Segert, Aku Sari Nehas. Ubed Center, Set MK, Def Seat Netter, Oni Entet, Hena, Yash Netter, Asa Erdit, Endek Enari Heru, Hena Herme, Endes Ari Heru, Aus Uatepi. Ari Set, Ab Ua Netter, Abu Pen Ha Asar, Abu Pen Asar, Spur M Heru. Arit Pert, Nahas Sa, Uwajit Pa Netter, Asar Ari Heru, Hept M, Aset, Abuyen Tuchen. Meduje Yan, Aset Sam Ujat, Setep Saher Amseti, Enti Amsa Asar, Sa Amset, Asar Amset. Meduje Yan, Nebahet, Sheta, Her Happy, Enti Sa Asar, Sa Happy Asar, Pu Happy. Meduje Yan, Net Seduara, Semesharu, Neb Ari Maket En, Duamutef, Enti Amsa Asar, Sa Duamutef, Asar Pu Duamutef. Meduje Yan, Circuit, Nkake Sekedet, Sa Ru, Neb Ari Maket, En Kwebsunef. Entet, Amsa Asar, Sa Kwebsunef, Asar Pu Kwebsunef. Yanaterda Emnuen Duachetta Yanaterda Emnuen Duachetta Nebuchadnezzar Jed Anatechet Asar Putra Makti Sake Setu Sakake Nebuchadnezzar Jed, Anatesh hit Asar, Putra, Makti Sake, Setu Sakake. Nebuchadnezzar Jed, Anatesh hit Asar, Putra, Makti Sake, Setu Sakake. Nebuchadnezzar Jed, Anatet hirt Asar, Putra, Makti Sake, Setu Sakake. Ari Jen Sekert, Ari Duaker, Nekau Uashu, Net Duanet, Sefekera Senhue. Net duanet, sefekera senue. Net duanet, sefekera senue. Net duanet, sefekera senue. Amun, mun, su, amun, mun, su, amun, mun, su, amun, su, amun, rapata, om, amun, rapata, om, amun, rapata, om, amun, rapata. Om Sara Seru. Om Sara Seru. Om Sara Seru. Om Sara Seru. Keru. 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 Ascend. Aset. 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 Maoira nepet ankudasene arineteru amaoira nepet ankudasene arineteru amaoira nepet ankudasene arineteru amaoira nepet ankudasene arineteru duara nuk atien keperu nuk atien keperu nuk atien keperu nuk atien keperu Ereru, 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 duatu heru, duatu keru, duatu heru, duatu keru, duatu heru, duatu keru, duatu heru, duatu keru, nuk nebejer, nuk nebejer, nuk nebejer, nuk nebejer, nefer remtra in aton Nefer Remtra in Adon. Nefer Remtra in Adon. Nefer Remtra in Adon. Makeru Wemba Makeru Wemba Nebejer Makeru Wemba Nebejer Makeru Wemba Nebejer Nuk Ua Kua Nuk Ua Kua Nuk Ua Kua Nuk Ua Kua Nukmaat 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 Nu 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 Newt Sa 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 Asa Asa 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 Sa 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 Asa Pete au Ankjer Uas Hena Nefu Kepetu Embat Dejasu Sunu Ayamhotep Aset Uasuja Heru Suja Menut Nebu Sen Efset Efsen Asar Aset Hetepi Suja Awuitu Yasor Nensheshu Nebu Emhu Shemu Metmetu Tau Sep Nebu Neshteta Ua Menti Eru Kut Tekin An-at, Tesu, Kem, Hena, Sefa, Hara, Digit, Kat, Hena, Asar, Peta, Keperu, Medut, Ra, Kat, Nefi, Asar, Keperu, Uahai, Uaker. Nuk Aset, Perke, Nayet, Ret Enal, Seter Samedu and Jehuti, Hertep Maat, Pet, Ta Atert, Aset Neter, Nefer, Ger, Pu Ankh Seske, Sde, A Ament, Sa Enken, Pu F Nen, Au F, Ready F, Nebkep, Dit Hetep, F her, FT, Ent, NF Tawi, Uahai, Uaker. Eruma Keru, Eruma Keru, Eruma Keru, Eruma Keru. Nerait Mesra, Nerait Mesra, Nerait Mesra, Nerait Mesra. Nuk Kepra, Mduau, Ra Emahauf, Temu Ami Masher. Nuk Kepra, Mduau, Ra Emahauf, Temu Ami Masher. Nuk Kepra, M duau, Ra M aouf, Demu ami masher, Uahai, Uaker. Yes. Netter, netter, mu, nebe, ah, ta, jesseri, zisheri, netter, netter, mu, nebe, ah, ta, jesseri, zisheri, netter, netter, ooh, nebe, ah, ah, yeseri, zisheri, netter, netter, ooh, nebe, ah, Digessery, Ziferi, Uashedi, Ua Def Aha, Aha, and Meta, Emma, Emma, Uh, Om. 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 Bata, 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 bata. Peace, 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 peace. Atep, dua, atep.
Oja, Dua. Okay, so we'll continue with our examination of the Ben stone of Amenemhat. So we've discussed these issues here, and now we're on the line. One thing to point out, where are we? Is that the line actually is to be, the line that we're covering now is to be read from right to left. But in our study, when I excised it, I switched it to read commonly from left to right, to avoid any confusion and for the sensibilities of the people who may see these presentations, make it easier to follow. So we discussed this, and where this orange line is, that's where we left off the last time. So now we're going to pick up from here. So we're going to cover this area of the text of the first line here. So what that looks like is that we're doing this line of text. This top line of text. So this would be like verse 1 or line 1. And then it's followed by the one underneath. And then we demarcated this line into 2 parts. So this would be like your A, and this would be your B of line 1. So now we're at the B section. And again, this is not a full treatment of the lines because that's outside the scope of these short lectures that we do. Meaning the translations have multiple parts, and we're doing 2 of the multiple parts for each line. So now we're going to be here. And so this is referred to as the transliteration. And this is the translation of that transliteration. So again, this will be your A, and this is your B. So red DF D Sarah. Actually, there's an error here. Yes, right. I put the D in the wrong spot. So right, D here. F. Take this D out. That's what's confusing things. Okay, we're good now. Red DF Sara Amenem Hat Mnet Adeneb Jeta Aptem Hek. So red DF Kau. Red DF Kau Sara Amenem Hat M Netter Neb Jeta Atem Hek. Heavenly plane, give, rising, give he, rising Sara Amenem Hat by way of divinity, Lord, forever, completion, for example, finality, glistening like a star. So red here, the term red is being made here. And that means like a heavenly plane. The determinative is pet, which means heaven. So that heavenly plane. D, give he, rising, Sara, son of Ra. So what it means is that he is being given rising in the heavenly plane as the Sara, the son of Ra. Meaning he is the progeny of creator spirit consciousness. That is to say that for the spiritual aspirant who has reached a certain elevated level, you, could be male or female, discover the essence from which your phenomenal identity and personality has emerged from. We can say that our temporal parents they're the ones that bring us into time and space existence. Upon close examination into the mystic journey of the soul, it is discovered that your personality is not what it appears to be, and that you're essentially a manifestation of a deeper underlying reality. that is abstract and beyond the scope of your human senses. So a Sara is someone who has discovered that essential source of phenomenal existence. Using the term phenomenal to delineate it from absolute. So you have phenomenal existence and absolute existence. Phenomenal existence is transient and relative, relative to perception and relative to the karmic basis that you carry around with you in the realm of time. The karmic basis of a human being in the Kemetic system is termed Aryu. The Adi, karmic basis. The sum total of all karmic acts. And therefore, if something is relative and transient, it cannot therefore be absolute. So it's not absolute consciousness. The converse of that, absolute, means something that is unchangeable and not transient. And human beings mostly are participating in the phenomenal, the transient. And if there's no spiritual evolutionary process, what happens is that that person, that human being, is unaware of their absolute divine nature. And that is what is referred to as ignorance. The Kemetic term for this kind of ignorance is kemen, which is darkness. And there's a Kemetic proverb that says, there's no darkness like the darkness of ignorance. So kemen means ignorance, means darkness. So ignorance of the, meaning the lack of knowledge of self. And when a human being is in that state or condition, they develop certain misapprehensions about reality, time and space, other human beings, etc. They can commit heinous acts or simply live a life of ignorance, and they die, and then they're reborn, they come back, and they go through the cycle again. And the issue is non-awareness of creator spirit consciousness self. And that is what is referred to as Ra. So this term here is Sara. Sa is made by the bird, like the duck, and Ra is made by the disc. Sa, Ra, son of creator spirit consciousness. And it is discovered that this creator spirit consciousness is the basis upon which phenomenality has arisen. So if there's an underlying basis to temporal existence, then that informs us of the nature of temporal existence, temporality, phenomenality. What that is telling us is that it's telling us something very important about temporality, phenomenal existence. And it's telling us something very important about you, a deeper truth about yourself. It's telling us that temporality is merely a construct of one's own unbridled creative imagination. Unbridled because what is compelling and impelling your sense of being in the realm of time and space is the Ariu. You're not consciously creating, you're unconsciously moving through the world, being pushed and pulled by your karmic basis, by your Ariu. And since there is the Kemen, what is created is an antithesis to Sara, to create a spirit consciousness. And then what that brings about is the pain and suffering inherent in normal human existence. So the sages have discovered that this kemen, this lack of awareness of Sara consciousness, there is a way out, there is a solution that can be applied to this fundamental problem of human existence. They found out that if you do certain things, if you meditate, if you, and when I say do certain things and the things I'm going to list, it means from the mystical perspective. So you have two perspectives. You have mystical, and then you have faith-based. And the sages discovered that if you apply the program in a mystical context, then the issue of lack of awareness of Sara consciousness can be resolved. But if you primarily reside in a faith-based mode of religious operation, then there's very little relief from, and any relief is temporary and short-lived. So there's very little relief from the pain and sufferings that are produced by the Kemen. So the sages realized that there's a mystical program that a human being, if they apply this system, they will resolve the issue in due time, meaning it's a process that you go through. You're not going to do it once and then you're enlightened, etc. So it's a process you have to go through. So they discovered that if you meditate, if you devote yourself to the divine in its manifestations, which are referred to as the neteru, the gods and goddesses, if you perform righteous action, and if you ingratiate wisdom teachings, and act with wisdom under proper spiritual guidance from a qualified, authentic spiritual teacher, you can resolve the issue of the kemen. In other words, you can discover Sara consciousness. But again, you have to go through the program in a specific way, through a specific mode, which is the mystical mode. This is not saying anything bad about any religion. This is an examination. This is like a diagnosis and treatment for the problem of fundamental ignorance of kemen. And this term, Sara, that is used in this text and how it is used is leading to this kind of discussion. This is how the text is designed, what the text is designed to bring out. And therefore, this problem can be resolved. The problem of kemen can be resolved. And it says in the heavenly planes, he is given to be risen in Sara, the son of Ra, risen Sara consciousness. And here we're talking about the Pura, which is, his name is written here. We're talking about the Pura, but the Pura is like an emblem of every spiritual aspirant, every spiritual student. So it's not really talking about a single person at some place and time in history. This is not a historical document. This is not a historical document. This is a mystical examination of higher consciousness. And therefore, these names although they relate to a historical figure, are actually metaphors. And actually, the spiritual society of ancient Kemet lived with this understanding that these are, yes, there's a Pura, but the Pura is a metaphor for me and what I can achieve spiritually, divine consciousness. So these metaphors apply to you as spiritual initiates of the mystic program of ancient Egypt, of Kemet. So when we come back next week, we handled pretty much this area, not so much. We didn't go in detail into the name of the cartouche. So when we come back, we'll see how much further we get. So the uh, the takeaway from this one is the Saura consciousness and how that is to be achieved. So do it, everyone, and I'll stop the sharing and the recording, and then please hold on for one moment. So do it, everyone, and do it for joining in, and for those who may watch this video, and all are welcome to join us live every week at 5:30 on Saturday morning for devotion and these teachings. So do everyone, Patek.